After nearly 9 years in captivity, former Congressman Oscar Tulio Lizcano is a free man. It is the big story all of Colombia is talking about this Monday, a rescue operation in the jungles of Chocó, the congressman in very poor health, escaping with the help of his jailer, a FARC member who is now being given asylum in France. Let's bring in RCN Samara Garcia with our top story.
Thanks, Brian. Former Congressman Oscar Tulio Lizcano was one of the last big political names being held by the FARC. It is a two-in-a-row victory for Colombia's military after Operation Jaque earlier this year that saw freedom for Ingrid Betancourt, the 3 Americans, and 15 others.
The mission to rescue former Representative Oscar Tulio Lizcano was pulled off by the Army's 14th Brigade, with help from the Gaula anti-kidnapping unit of the National Police. It all started about 90 days ago when the Army got a tip on where Oscar Tulio Lizcano was being held. They started to squeeze the guerrillas, closing in on the camp and cutting off their supply lines.
Mr. Lizcano was kidnapped on August 4, 2000 in Rio Sucio, where he was held in bad conditions. The FARC group Aurelio Rodriguez had him. We put pressure on them, and thanks to Elias Morocco, who escaped from the rebel group and turned himself into the public forces, we knew the rebels were moving near the Tamaná River. And yesterday, we started this freedom operation. Then, Lizcano escaped with the leader of the faction and got to a military base.
Meantime, the leader of this particular faction of the FARC, who was also the congressman's jailer, a man who goes by the name Isaza, got tired of the situation in the jungle. He decided to escape, along with his hostage. They made their way through the jungle for 3 days until they reached a military base in San José del Palmar in the south of Chocó. Sunday morning, Oscar Tulio Lizcano was a free man and flown to Cali, where all of Colombia got their first glimpse of him in nearly 9 years.
Life is the most important thing in the world. I'm tired. You're going to have to excuse me because since I spent my captivity alone without speaking to any rebel, I'm not as fluent as I should be. Besides, I'm excited. I want to thank a man who dared to escape with me, Isaza, along with the Colombian army for my rescue. Thanks to their pressure, I'm free. I also want to thank the brigade base I found in the middle of the jungle.
The last time Colombia saw the congressman was this proof of life video in which he was surrounded by guerrilla fighters. President Uribe praised the army and police for their successful operation. Oscar Tulio Lizcano is being treated in the clinic Valle del Viví in Cali and has been reunited with his wife and son, who are now hoping to get back all those years they lost together.
I can tell the rest of the kidnapped people that they are going to get out. Keep their faith.
While Colombia is happy to see his freedom, there are still roughly 2,800 hostages being held by the FARC and other irregular groups in the jungle. By the way, the guerrilla fighter who helped Lizcano make it to freedom is being given special asylum in France. For RCN News in English, I'm Samara Garcia.
Thanks, Samara. Now let's get you caught up on the other big stories making news from Colombia this Monday. Let's send it over to Ana Maria Hernandez. She's standing by with a look at what else is in the headlines. Ana Maria?
Well, thank you, Brian. The president met with indigenous in Cali over the weekend. These indigenous have been marching there for days to draw attention to security and land issues. And we had elections over the weekend too, Colombia's political parties choosing their internal leadership. President Uribe, using a megaphone, was forced to stand on a pedestrian overpass to address the indigenous since they wouldn't let him on the stage. The president not getting a warm welcome because he didn't make a planned morning meeting with the tribal leaders. He was busy dealing with the rescue of the former congressman. Tribal leaders had upset they made a big effort to get to Cali to air their concerns to the president, and he wasn't ready to meet them. They didn't care he was tied up with another issue. They have asked for another meeting with the president Monday in the Pascual Guerrero Stadium. Indigenous are upset with lands given to them by the government. They say they are not heard. They are also upset with the way the police have handled recent investigations into the murders and kidnappings of other tribal leaders. 3 Colombia's political parties held internal elections Sunday. The parties are the Conservative Party, the Polo Democratic Party, and the U Party. There was not a big turnout. The only major problem reported was the Conservative Party's candidates were not on the ballot in 14 different departments. Monday afternoon, the Registraduría will release the results, which will reveal the leaders of each party at the local level. And those are some of the stories making news from Colombia. Brian, back to you.
Okay, thanks very much. Ana Maria Hernandez from the RCN News and English staff. Halloween is coming up, as you know. It's a fun time to get dressed up and to go out in costume trick-or-treating or to go to a party here in Bogota. However, police always urge caution, especially if you're a parent sending out a little one for candy. RCN's Efren Arce is here with that story. Efren?
Hi, Brian. Well, we're in a party right now. You can say that these kids behind you are training for Halloween. That's right, the sweet night is just around the corner, and city authorities want to make sure that it's a safe night for everybody. And joining us is Mayor Laura from Bogota Police Department. Mayor Laura, thank you for being with us. Why is security so important in Halloween night?
Good morning. Halloween has a very high security risk. Many children are stolen or get lost. Police want to prevent that from happening.
That's right. Thank you, Mayor Laura. Well, police is making big efforts to make it a safe night, and they are creating, Lolo, if you can show here, they're creating what they call the caravan, the caravan of joy. These caravans are going to go surrounding all the city, all the localities, and they're going to go to the neighborhoods and to the schools, trying to make awareness of security in teachers and parents and in all the kids. So police is working very hard to make sure that it's a very secure, sweet, and happy Halloween for everybody. Brian, by the way, do you already know what costume you're going to wear that night?
Well, Efren, I'm thinking about being a costeño.
Well, I'm sure we all want to see you wearing that costume. Reporting from the locality of San Fernando, I'm Efren Arce for RCN News in English. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Efren. Yeah, I'm going to wear my sombrero volteado, and I'm going to put on a T-shirt and chancletas, and I'm going to be escuela suave. All right. Efren, as we continue the news right now, we're going to talk about Cartagena. We want to bring in our special news contributor, Gary Parkasevich. He's brand new to the RCN News in English team. He's an American journalist who is now visiting our country for the next couple of months. So, Gary, what do you think of Colombia so far?
Well, Brian, Colombia is just everything I've always asked it for. This is actually my second time here. Last year, I went to Medellin for 2 weeks. I fell in love with Colombia, and because I'm a broadcast journalist, I saw this as the perfect opportunity to come down here. But today, Brian, I'm going to talk to you about Cartagena. I know you like that city very much. It's a city that's full of history, and next month the Miss Colombia pageant is going to be held there. So let's take a look at what Cartagena has to offer.
It is one of the coolest places to visit in Cartagena. A giant fortress on the edge of the old town on San Lazaro Hill, with an impressive view of the city, the coast, and La Popa. It took nearly 200 years to build, and legend has it was built with tons of gold hidden in the walls, climbing up to the top and then ascending down into the tunnels. It's like a walk back through time. You can feel the history and the beauty of this special place with a giant Colombian flag flapping in the wind. In 1741, the English commander Edward Vernon, with 186 ships and 25,000 men, attacked the city under the control of the Spaniards. Commander Vernon was so certain Cartagena would fall that he had a medal made commemorating his expected victory. However, the Spaniards, who were outnumbered 7-1, held firm behind the walls of the city and in the fortress. Small cannons on the English ships were able to hit the outer walls of the city, but never hit Castillo San Felipe. However, the cannons on the San Felipe fortress made prime targets of the English ships. Vernon lost more than 70 ships and 10,000 men in his ill-fated attempt to take Cartagena. Today, it's one of the most popular bases to visit in Cartagena, with amazing history and a great view.
And Brian, what's very popular on the coast of Colombia is the sombrero volteado.
Ah, tú tienes.
You
know the proper way to wear it? You have to kind of push up the brim like this.
Yes, you do. And I didn't really do a very good job, but I'm trying my best. I am a gringo, pero todavía estoy aprendiendo. I'm still learning. And for all of us in Bogota, where it's a little colder, I have this little Colombian scarf. Yeah, así es. I bought this on my trip to Medellin last year.
Medellin es una chimba. That's what they say down in the land of the They love it. And they have the world's most beautiful people in Medellin.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Lots of beautiful women there, and home to mi Atlético Nacional. But, well, it's a pleasure here to be in Colombia. I'm happy to be here, Brian.
I'm happy to be here, too. You know, once you come here, you fall in love with the place. And the only risk, as they say, is wanting to stay. All right, Gary Parkasevich, our new RCN News contributor. Gracias para su sombrero volteado en su bufando. All right, as we continue, if you could interview the United States ambassador to Colombia, what would you ask him? Well, we're sure that our viewers have a lot of interesting questions. We hope you will email us yours. The address is rcnnewsinenglish@gmail.com, because in our very next edition, we have an interview planned with Ambassador William Brownfield. He'll be in the studio with us in our Monday evening edition, posted at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to do it for the RCN News in English this Monday. I'm Brian Andrews reporting from RCN in Bogota. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll tell your friends about our website as we do our best to bring Colombia to the world.